Hi, this is Juan from JuanTutors.com. Welcome to my totally free office hours. Today we're working on the August 2016 New York Geometry Common Core Regents problem number 26. If you want to access these exams, go to nysedregents.org. Here's the problem. In the diagram below, triangle ABC has coordinates A11, B41, and C45. Graph and label triangle A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, the image of ABC after the translation 5 units to the right and 2 units up, followed by the reflection over the line y equals 0. So look, definitely pause the video. Definitely try the problem on your own and see if you get the same answers. So if you do, definitely hit the like button. Let us know that you got that. So here's what we do. This kind of problem does take a few readings. Make sure you do read it a few times because it does take a few readings to really get it. So what do? The way we do it is we actually write the transformations out. Remember though that they don't require you to actually write out the transformations, but I do highly recommend that you perform the transformations one at a time. So you actually perform that intermediate step. And label it here. But if you don't do it algebraically over here, as long as you label it down here, it does say here graph and label. If you don't graph and label, it's a point off. If you don't graph correctly, it's a point off. If you don't label at all, that's another point, and it becomes a 0-point problem. So now A is the point 1, 1. B is the point 4, 1. And C is the point 4, 5. And now each of these is getting first translated. Let me go to blue. It's getting translated 5 units to the right and 2 units up. Okay, so this is A prime. Let's see, 1 plus 5, 1 plus 5, comma, 1 plus 2 equals, let's see, 6, 3. And then B prime, let's see, 4 plus 5, and then 1 plus 2 equals 9, 3. And then C prime, let's see, 4 plus 5, comma, and then 5 plus 2 equals 9, 7. Okay, now if you didn't know how to write this out neatly and everything like that, well, at least you could actually look at the graph and move from A 5 spaces to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 units up. Okay, and that'll be A prime. Okay. Now notice that A prime is 6, 3, so it does confirm our initial answer. From A prime, we move 3 units to the right to get B prime, and that is the point 9, 3 as we expected. And then C prime is 4 units up is the point 9, 7, and in fact it's at 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as expected. C prime 9, 7, and B prime 9, 3, and then A prime 6, 3, and then we draw this triangle. Really, we should have drawn the triangle before we labeled it, but too late. Let me try again for that line. Just a little bit neater. Okay, cool. And now I want to go to let's go to black. So I want to go to so A prime 6, 3, B prime is 9, 3, and then C prime is 9, 7, and then I want to reflect over over the line y equals 0. Okay, so I want to reflect over the line y equals 0. Here's the y equals 0 is right here, so y equals 0 is also called the x-axis. Okay, aka the x-axis. Okay, so I'm going to reflect this whole triangle below, which means that it should be something like upside down triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. So it's going to look something like that, something like it's going to, let me just draw something real quick like this, like this, like this. Okay, so that's something I should expect. So let's actually do the problem. So this is the reflection over the y equals 0. Okay, it's going to be A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. Now, if you want to know how to reflect over the line y equals 0, then just look, you notice A prime is 3 spaces above the x-axis. So reflect it over the x-axis, you go 3 spaces below. B prime is 3 spaces above, so you go 3 spaces below. C prime is 7 spaces above, so you go 7 spaces below, and those are the vertices. You connect them and you're done. If you want to do it algebraically, what you do, notice that the x coordinates are the same, but the y coordinate is negated, and that's exactly what we do. 6, and then just negate that y coordinate, -3. B prime is 9, negate the 3, -3. And then C double prime is 9, negate the 7, -7. And that's it. So A prime, double prime, B double prime, and 4 units down, 7 is C double prime. Connect those dots. Let's not forget to label them. So A double prime, 6, -3. B double prime, 9, -3, and C double prime, 9, -7. And the problem is done. Okay, hopefully you got that answer. If you were just looking for the answer, go ahead and hit the next button so you can see the next video. But we did create a problem for you to practice on. Very similar to the previous problem, it's just a slightly different set of transformations. So what do we do here? In the diagram below, it's the same triangle ABC, has coordinates A11, B41, and C45. And graph and label triangle A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, the image of ABC, after a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation, followed by the translation to -5. Okay, so some things to know. A rotation by 90 degrees counterclockwise of a point X, Y. If you want to know the formula for it, you switch the X and the Y, and then you negate the first coordinate. So -y, X. Okay, so that's the formula for rotating 90 degrees counterclockwise. And if they don't specify the direction, it's automatically counterclockwise. And if they don't specify the center of rotation, it's around the origin. And that's how I know that this is the specific rotation. So let's see. Let's start with red. Yes, let's start with red. So A, 1, 1, B, 4, 1, and C, 4, 5. Let's see, and then I'm going to go to blue. With the rotation of 90 degrees, okay, same rotation. Notice that I'm doing this in the correct order. 90 degrees counterclockwise. A rotation followed by the translation to -5. So the next one is A prime, B prime, and C prime. So let's see, A prime, I'm going to switch the X and the Y. Well, switch a 1 and a 1, you get 1, 1, and then negate the first, so -1, 1. Switch the X and the Y, you get 1 and 4, negate the first one, so -1, 4. And then switch the X and the Y, 5, 4, negate the first one, close the parentheses. Okay, so let's graph that. A prime, 1, -1, 1. B prime, -1, 4. And C prime, -5, 4. So -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, -5, 4. Okay, so connect the dots. Label the dots. C prime, B prime, A prime. Now again, A prime, B prime, and C prime are not actually required on the graph, but I always highly recommend that you include those. It makes you way more likely to get the question right. Okay, now I'm going to translate 2 units to the right and 5 units down. Okay, so now how do I do that? A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. I add those numbers to the coordinates. That's it. So -1 plus 2 is 1. 1 plus -5 is -4. Okay, -1 plus 2 is 1. 4 plus -5 is -1. Now notice that in this case I'm not writing all the steps in. I do highly recommend that you do write all the steps in because it saves the trouble of checking your answer. But there is going to be a geometric check, and I'll explain that in a second. -5 plus 2 is -3, and then 4 plus -5 is -1. So now I mentioned a geometric check. Well, the geometric check, you know that a translation just shifts a diagram in some direction, it just slides it, but it keeps the orientation exactly the same. So when you graph A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, it better make a triangle that looks exactly like A prime, B prime, C prime, just shifted somewhere. In fact, shifted 2 units to the right and 5 units down. So let's see what we get. A prime, 1, -4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. B prime, 1, -1, 1, -1. And then C prime, -3, -1. -3, -1. Draw my dot there. Connect the dots. You see how this looks exactly like the previous, like A prime, B prime, C prime, just shifted. C prime, B prime, A prime. The geometry checked my answer for me. Double prime. Ooh. Yes. C double prime. Sorry. B double prime. A double prime. I'm gonna put the coordinates in. 1, -4. B is 1, -1. And C is the point -3, -1. And that is a full and correct answer. 2 points on the docket. Much more likely to get a very nice grade on this region. So look, I highly recommend that you continue watching these videos. If you got the answer right, congratulations. I know you can do it. Keep working at it. Keep watching the next video. And thanks for watching. And definitely stay tuned for that next video, which starts right now.